Essence, welcome to Real Conversations in the Quad Cities. It's great having you on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Good, good. I know we had a lot of conversations even before we were having our conversation now, and I'm so excited for everyone else to learn a little bit more about you, your leadership style, what you've come through, what you're doing with your students, and everything you're doing. I mean, it's amazing, what's happening here and stuff. So with your, building through your dance academy, let's talk beyond the dance itself, as you built this. Get a little bit into that information.
So just a little bit beyond the dance, always start with the kids. My dance company starts at age 4, and then it can go all the way to whatever. First, I want to build unity and know that this is a family outside of family. Like, you can always come to me. Not only that, within dance, like, I make sure I build confidence, leadership skills, and let them know to always communicate with me. Like, it's not just dance. Like, this is a family, and I want them to know that I'm also there for them in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. What are the ages that's in your academy?
Yeah, so we start at age 4, and we just go all the way up. I have some dancers that are 18, some dancers that are 19, 20. Yeah, so we can just go up to whatever.
Okay. So a lot of different personalities within those age groups, right?
So many different personalities, but we have them split up. So 4 and 6 are together, 7 through 11, and 11 and up. Yeah.
Okay. I think like in any profession or, any leadership role, coach, there's those hard days. How do you make it through those harder days? The students don't want to listen. You're trying to choreograph. Their mind's somewhere else. How do you handle that?
That's what I have assistants for.
Okay.
No.
Put it on them. Let them take care of it.
Yeah, let them take care of it. But sometimes if they are like that, which my kids are pretty good. There are some days where it's like rowdy. Normally, if I just raise my voice just a little bit, like, hey, get it together. Or I make them run, do push-ups. They'll straighten up right away.
Okay. Yeah. They hear that voice, and it's
I'm
okay.
like, hey, Essence is not playing today, guys. Like, I gotta get it together.
That's wonderful. When did you realize, starting the academy, or even before the academy, when did you realize you had some leadership qualities?
I would say I didn't realize it until my parents told me that. I kind of, not telling me like, hey, like, you're a leader, not like kind of like pushing it, because I was teaching at the age of 12. So I'm a kid teaching kids.
Wait a minute. You're teaching at the age of what?
Yeah, I started teaching at the age of 12 in
12.
my basement.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
1, 2.
All right. 1, 2, 12. I heard that correctly. All right.
Yes. In my basement, there was kids that were 5. There was kids that were 6, 10. And there were sometimes I would get off track, but my parents were always there, and they'd be like, hey, like, they'll like, and then kind of like when I was 14, I kind of seen like people were looking up to me more. Even like some of my girls dressed up for me as Halloween. Like, it was crazy. So I kind of seen that, but my parents were like telling me, I thought it was like it was kind of like surreal, and like, I'm like, why would they want to do that? And then kind of had to sit me down like, hey, because they look up to you. Because I didn't really understand. I was young. So they kind of had to sit down and tell me like, hey, you're in dance, certain things you can't do. When you do this, you have to act this way. Even though you're still a child, you have to make sure you are having leadership qualities. So they kind of had to sit me down and let me know. That's kind of how
Okay. Okay. And I know you come from a very close family.
Yes.
Mom and dad, some of the conversation we had really behind you and helps you along and stuff. Because I could imagine at 12 or, at a young age, and you see yourself in that leadership role, it's, and I'm sure a lot of your other friends out doing their daily thing, playing or doing whatever, and you're like, I got people looking up to me. That seemed like that could be a lot on the shoulders.
It can. I would say it was a lot of sacrifice too when it came to stuff like that. Because my friends, especially when it came to high school, I had to miss my friends' birthdays, graduation parties, because I'm trying to get to the place that I want to get and be the person that I want to be. So when it came to that, I sometimes had to my friends, they did this and they did that. They got to do certain things I didn't get to do. But also I had my fair share of fun, so kind of evened out. But it was kind of hard especially I feel like during high school, like during 14 and up, I realized I had to like work on my emotions with certain things, or I couldn't do this, or I couldn't do that. Or if I'm at a dance competition, there's one time I got second place. and I was crying. Mind you, I was 21 at the time. I'm crying because I got second place. And my dad like looks at me and he's like, Essence, you have to straighten up. Like, you can't do this. Because this is when I was kind of freshly off the show and people at the dance convention want to take pictures with me. They were kind of watching me. And he's like, you can't be like that. You have to straighten up. You have to tighten up. So certain things, like, it was kind of like a shock. And like sometimes I felt like I couldn't necessarily be or let the emotions out that I wanted to let out because I was in that role.
You talked about the show. What show was that?
So you think you dance? So you think you can dance? Season
Okay.
17.
Season 17. Okay. And what place did you get on that one?
Third.
Third. Okay. All right. Okay. I know we had talked about that. That's good and stuff. What kind of, how was that going through that process? I mean, it's a big show.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of nerves, excitement, and a little bit of everything, I'm assuming.
I was very scared.
Okay.
Very nervous. But once you hit the stage, and I kind of like when I went out for my audition, like I was the very first person to audition. Like during the TV and stuff, you know, they edit so it doesn't look like that. But I was the very first person to go. When they told me, oh, Essence Wilmington, you're up, like everything just like went through my body like a heat, like weight. And I was sweating, my hands were clammy. But right when I stepped off the stage, I ran on stage with this big smile. I'm like, what up, y'all? Like, you know, and like that kind of like let me like, you know what? Oh, what up? And the crowd was like, okay, like she's kind of cool. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of cool. And so, and then when the music comes on, you get that first step, it just goes away.
It just goes away, goes away. We talked some about your parents, and they poured a lot of information into you. And just, we had talked too about sometimes it's not what parents tell you or people tell you. It's you, as you watch them, you grow and things. Besides your parents really working with you, you know, when they were saying, hey, remember, you know, people are looking up to you, you know, and you were looking to become a leader. Were there other individuals, other, you know, people in the community, you know, your neighborhood that you could talk about that kind of poured into you a little bit, that was there behind you?
Yeah, I can, like, besides obviously my mom and my dad, I did have other family members, like my auntie, like they'll have like little talks with me, or just besides family, just seeing the way that my students looked up to me and how they would come to me with even certain questions and certain things that have nothing to do with dance or dance related, and seeing that they felt that comfort and was okay with asking me certain things. And I'm like, wow, like that really just kind of shocked me in a way. And I'm like, wow, you're really looking for my advice. And it's like them putting me in that role made me realize like I really am a leader, and I have to start. I was already acting like that, but I had to like take it in and like, okay, cool. Like these are some things like they'll ask a teacher or their parents, and they're coming to me and they for real life advice. And the fact that they did that like really warmed my heart. Like, wow, like you guys really do trust me and have so passionate.
You talked a little bit about, you know, you just said, you know, they do trust you and things. So that the moment when you have new students sign up, you know, coming in, I guess, how do you want them to feel when they walk in for the first time in the class or, you know, the academy? What's that feeling you want them to have?
I want them to feel comfortable and wanted. Like, we want you to be here. We want you to be a part of Essence W Dance. Like, we're a family. So right when you walk in, a lot of the dancers, they will have nerves when they walk in, but as soon as they walk in, I approach them, I approach their parent, and I give them a hug. I'm like, hey, like, I'm a hug her, try to make them feel comfortable. You know, I might be a little silly to have them feel like, okay, like she's a little awkward. I like that about her. So if I'm awkward, if my teacher's awkward, I can be a little awkward, you know? And then I have them introduce themselves, and I'm like, hey, like, what's your favorite food? Like, I want to know. And like, if we have the same food in common, I'm like, okay, twins, like, you know, just play with them a little bit. Yeah, so I really just want to make them feel comfortable and know like, hey, this is a safe space.
Okay. I like that, safe space, but feeling comfortable, because a lot of people, whatever age, sometimes they walk into a new setting, a new opportunity, and there's those nerves.
Oh, yeah.
And being a leader, you have to be able to recognize that and be able to, let's put you at ease first, because then it's going to be easier to learn, I guess, and move. That'll be good. That's good. That's good. So what life skills do you try to teach, you know, without even calling them life skills?
Right.
You know, sometimes you can't tell somebody, hey, this is what I'm trying to teach you.
Yeah, no, seriously. Teamwork.
Okay.
You're a dance team. You have to be responsible. You have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent. Confidence. So literally everything kind of like you go through life with learning things like that. So I feel like dance, like having this as a sport and something to do, really teaches you multiple life skills that I don't physically have to say, like, hey, this is going to teach you this. I just kind of see them naturally mature and grow into that. And I see with all my students, even from students that might not have the best dance background, I promise you 2 to 3 months, they see growth automatically. So, yeah.
Now, you're not just a leader with your students. You also have done and still continue to do some choreography as well,
Yeah.
right? Okay. How's that differ, or is it the same or whatever as with the students?
It's a little different because when you walk into a new space, your choreographer, they might not really know you. They know of you, but they don't know your personality. They don't know how you are. They don't know if you're strict. They don't know if you're mean. They don't know if you're nice. So they're very like timid and shy and uptight. But me, I'm very like, I do the same thing with them. Like just like if there was a new dancer walking into here, I'm walking into your space, I'm gonna make you feel comfortable. Now we knew each other for years and like we're besties. Yeah.
And I know you know, the different ages, because you've talked about, 4 to 6, and we have conversation 20-year-olds, or when you're choreographing, it could be somebody even older.
Yeah.
And things. And so in a leadership role, do you find that a lot of it's the same, but you do have to adjust to that individual?
Yeah, you definitely have to adjust. There's been some people I feel like I've been a little too much, and they be like, but I kind of adjust to it. If they're a little more on the calm side, I'll try to pipe down a little bit because I don't want to scare them away. I want them to feel comfortable with me, especially if I'm just working with one individual. Those are the most nerve-wracking ones. I get nervous even teaching individuals. Like, it's just me and you. Like, I don't know you and you don't know me. Like, we'll see how this goes. Like, I don't know. There's sometimes they just stare at me like, and I try to crack a joke and they're like, I'm like, okay, not funny. Cool. All right, let's move on. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
yeah, you end up in certain predicaments.
Yeah, switch gears, change lanes or whatever. What does, you being a leader, your generation, and I'm sure you've talked to other individuals that's around your age, that's possibly in leaderships, because you told me you travel around the country.
Yeah.
You've been traveling around the country doing dance or whatever. And you do rap too, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So I got questions on that. But, what does leadership look like in your generation? Is it more listening as a leader, more collaboration as a leader? Are there more boundaries, less boundaries? What would you say?
I would say it's all of those. You have to, in order to be a leader, you have to observe and you have to listen first. Like, that's number one. Also, when you're a leader, you realize when you become more mature, instead of looking at people as competition, you look at them, oh, you have a talent, I have a talent, let's collaborate and make each other better. We can make something shake, make something work, make something great. Then also, sometimes you have to have boundaries because people do try to take advantage. They're like, well, hey, can you give me X, X, Y, and Z? And not saying that I'm ever looking for anything in return, but it's like, okay, if I give you this or I have this, what can you do to help me help you? You know what I mean? So there are certain things that I have been in predicaments with all, but I feel like just this generation, it's life. You're gonna have setbacks, comebacks. You gotta grow, you gotta listen, even when you don't want to listen.
Okay.
So yeah.
Keep those ears open, keep that mind open and stuff, Working with young people, helping young people and things, find their voice. How do you do that? Help them find their voice when they're unsure of their voice?
Well, my favorite quote is, I always tell them, I said, you're going to miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I'm like, do it. Even if you're scared, do it. And I'm like, that's how you know you're going for something great, and because you're scared. Everything, when you have a big vision or something that's a vision like, hey, I want to do this, if you're not just a little bit scared, I don't think it's maybe not in your best interest. And I just really try to talk to them. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? They're gonna say boo. Okay, who cares? Beyonce gets booed all the time. All these celebrities, they talk about them. I'm like, at least they're talking. That's a view. That's a comment. That's going through the algorithm of social media. So who cares? Just do it.
Yeah. So it goes back to, being a good leader is being able to, like, talk about you're listening and you're having conversations with them, helping them grow. And I'm sure that kind of helps you.
Yeah.
I mean, do you take something away from that when you're leading?
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't tell my students this a lot, but they teach me a lot.
They're hearing it now.
I know. They teach me more than what they know, especially like my younger ones. The confidence that they have, because sometimes I don't have the confidence. I'm like, you know what? Let me get out here.
Yeah, yeah. Thinking back, the students you've been working with, remind you that your work is making a difference. I mean, when you see that, yes, all this work that I'm doing, the leadership, the training or whatever, I see it in that and stuff. What's one of those moments that you can reflect on?
Honestly, okay, so like I said, I've been teaching some of the girls since they were 5. Some of them are 13, some of them are 12. And the growth and the way their confidence, like the way they just have grown. And not only that, when people compliment me about them, they're like, how old is she? She's only 12 and she's dancing like this. Like, I'm telling you, like, they can dance like me. Like, I have complete, but it's like, that's the biggest compliment when they're just like, how are you getting them to do this? And when even their parents, that's the biggest one, when their parents are just like, I just see so much growth in my child. Like, even in the last month, 2 months, dance, but also like they see the confidence. They see that, okay, this is what they see their child shining in the way that they probably haven't seen them before. So just seeing those things in my students lets me know, like, okay, I'm doing my job, and it makes me very proud.
Okay. Okay. How do you create a safe space that still challenges students to grow?
If a step is hard, it's hard. I'm not gonna dumb it down, because you're gonna get it eventually. Every step is simple. It's just the pace might be faster, or it might be sharper. You might have to hit your blades clean instead of it be loose. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not gonna change it. I'm gonna train you to get it, and you are gonna get it. I promise you. So that's how they grow so fast here, because SNW dance isn't for everybody. I kind of run a strict program, they like to say. And it's like, you can have no dance experience and come here, but you have to be willing to work. Especially like if you're like in the intermediate levels, the little kids levels, yeah, you make it fun. You make it fun for everybody, but you start with the fundamentals. Kind of if you're like older, you go straight into intermediate. It's gonna be intermediate / advanced, and you're gonna get it. Yeah, you might feel some type of way. I have people that cry and everything, and I'm like, you're gonna get it. I said, rare practice. This is what I'm here for. I said, it's not a show.
So what I'm hearing, you have some high expectations and tough expectations, but it's how to
It's how you go about
it.
I'm not like, oh,
You learn that, yeah.
that's terrible. No, I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it again. Okay, we didn't get it the 10th time. Let's do it the 20th time. So yeah.
So that style really works for you. Then you see the students really, they're able to open up to that type of style.
Yes.
Okay. You have a lot of leadership qualities going on here at a young age. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So what does representation and belonging look like in your academy that you have going on?
Well, as far as representation, just in general, besides the dance and besides us getting compliments and what we had, I really, really want us to represent each other. When we go certain places, competition, anything, we're a family first. We don't argue. Talk about each other. Yeah, people might bump heads. That's what anybody. We have a group full of people, but it's like, we're gonna talk it out. I have a strict. There's no type of nothing. I don't play that. And if something has happened where somebody's like, oh, this person and it makes somebody's feelings hurt, no, I nip it in the bud. And as far as like the belonging and stuff, again, going back to, I want to make everybody feel comfortable. Everybody will feel comfortable. And if you don't feel comfortable, I want you to be able to come to me. And I even explain that with the parents too. Like, I'm just as in much communication with the kids as I am with their parents, as much as I am with the kids. So I try to really balance that out.
Okay. with the different age groups that you teach and you choreograph with and
Yeah.
things. I guess what lessons from dance do you want them to take, or have you seen them take that helps them either in school, at the other jobs that they might do, you know, some of your more mature students might do, and just, you know, in relationships itself? What are they picking up from dance? What's giving them that?
I tell them confidence is everything, whatever you do. Like, confidence, fake it till you make it. I love that one too. That's fake it till you make it has got me a lot of places. But I should not have, I mean, I was there, but like, you know, there's people that's up here and I was feeling like I was down there, but it's like fake it till you make it. Confidence, it gets you a long way. And I tell them I said, whatever you do, whether you're in a drawing contest, whether you're working, who's filling the most shoes at finish line, you know, just really have confidence in yourself and carry that wherever you go, and hold your head up high. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's something that you're learning, that you're still learning as a young leader?
Yes. There's a lot of things I'm still learning.
Okay.
Certain times, like my dad tells me, like I'll be like, I come back from practice, I'm like, I need them to, like, you know, pull up a little bit with the dance. I don't understand. Like, am I not doing something right? He looks at the video. He's like, they look great to me. He's like, I said, you need to chill. So he tells me I need to chill back and lay back sometimes. But it's like the kids, I have so much like passion. I'm like, no, you need, like, you know, like, he's like, Essence, sometimes it's okay to take a step back and chill. You don't got to stress about everything. Everything doesn't have to be perfect right away. And not only that, I think perfection, that's something that I'm struggling with, because sometimes if things aren't perfect, I won't put it out. I won't show the world. I won't show anybody. It will stay in my cellular device.
Okay.
So yeah.
You mentioned something earlier in our conversation that you're always learning.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that sometimes when you step into a space, if you feel, and not on an arrogance level, but if you feel you're the best in the room, you rather move to an area that there's people that could be better in certain areas, whether it's leadership or dance. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Like when it comes to me, I think that's what my dad has always taught us. My dad is like, oh, and it's not in a bad way. I think that really pushed me. Oh, did you get the most on the pacer test today in the gym? Like when you run in high school, it's the pacer test. How many did you get? Did you beat everybody? Did you beat every girl? Oh, what'd you get on that math test? Oh, Dad, I got 103%. Oh, you was the best one. You know, so it's like I will always want to be in the room with people that are greater. Because if I'm the greatest, I don't feel like I'm gonna learn, but I said. So I want to be in the room with people who are phenomenal, who are great, and is way better than me, because I'm gonna grow. It's putting me in an uncomfortable position, but when you're uncomfortable, you're gonna grow. Comfort, you're gonna stay stagnant. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What does healthy support from the community look like? Look like for you? Are you getting a lot of support for the academy? What kind of support you need? Talk a little bit about that.
So, just anything. We'll start out, Dave. Like even when it comes to the performances, just the claps. That's very supportive. That lets me know I'm doing a great job. The parents are loving it. Not only that, we have certain people, like certain parents, like make shirts for us.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then we have parents that like I got these girls, or put in their input and let me know that they are there for me. And that just makes me feel amazing. And not only that, just like certain things that even with social media, the community will share our videos, SSW dance videos. And that means the most, because you don't have to like, and you don't even have to view, let alone share. So the fact that they even do that means a lot to me.
Okay. Here's a question that everybody always asks and stuff. So 10 years from now, your students come back,
right?
And things. What is that? What do you hope they say? This is what I learned from you.
Not even kind of what they learned, but not really. I hope they say, Essence, I followed my dream.
Okay.
I did it.
Yeah.
I'm here. You remember when you told me I'm so big on follow your dream, do this, do that. I know some people, take risk. Some people are very scared and they want to have something to fall back on. And that's great. And shout out to the people who do. But when you really sit there and you believe in yourself and you have a big dream, you have a vision that some people can't even imagine being, but you, like, God put it in your head for a reason, you need to go for it. So I will be so proud if one of my students came back 10 years later and was like, I did it, and I see them doing their dream exactly what they told me.
Okay. There's a lot of young people listening right now. There's a lot of young people that, you know, will see this and hear this and things, and they want to be leaders possibly, and they're not sure yet. You know, how do I do it? What's your message to them?
Sometimes being unsure, that will give you the green light. Like if you're like, I want to, but I'm unsure, that uncertainty should let you know you should do it. 100%. What's the worst that's gonna happen? Okay, that doesn't work. Do something else. That doesn't work. Do another thing. You want to use your time on this earth to do what you want to do and to do what you love to do. So I would just tell them, just keep going. And if you're uncertain, do it. Try it out. Okay, boom, don't work. Come back to it and do it again. Switch it up. Remake. You know.
Take that shot
Take it.
that you mentioned. This was awesome talking to you and things. I learned so much from you. I'm glad we had a chance to talk, and thank you for sharing your thoughts on leadership. And it seems like I said, I know your parents, you know, poured into your life, but other people outside of that as well. So thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Isaiah, thank you so much for joining us for Real Conversations. So for people who don't know you, please tell us who you are and the work that you do.
Yeah. So I'm Rashawn Isaiah Overton. I was born and raised in Rock Island, Illinois. I graduated from Rocky in 2018. Then I went to school in Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. I went to school for electrical and computer engineering. While I was in school, I did quite a bit. I ran for student government president and won that for 2 years. I was also on the regional board of the National Society of Black Engineers. So I was heavily involved in engineering, but also heavily involved in my campus life. And then when I graduated, I came back home, and now I work at the Lincoln Center.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you were very, very busy.
Yeah.
I didn't know you went to SIU, so that's
Yeah.
super cool. So what do you do here at the Lincoln Center?
Yeah, so at the Lincoln Center, I primarily work on our youth programming, but I also work on the organization as a whole to make us a little bit more efficient, I would say. So really streamline a lot of our processes, move a lot of those physical processes to digital. So yeah.
Yeah. So in the digital space, you're,
Yeah.
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 So the website, that's all you?
Yeah, website's all me. Our internal booking system, which is brand new to the Lincoln Center, that's all me. Anything tech related around here, I also do it.
Yeah, that's amazing. You're busy.
Yeah.
I love it. So what led you into youth leadership and community work?
Yeah, so growing up, it was incredibly hard sometimes. I think when you grow up in certain parts of the Quad Cities, you often feel like you don't have options. You kind of grow up under your circumstances and kind of you feel locked down by them. But I felt that my community really empowered me, and I had certain teachers, certain mentors that came into the classroom space who seen me, and they gave me additional opportunities that other students didn't get. So I can remember, like, the first time I got to visit a college, someone looked at me and said, I wanted to make sure you can see what a college looks like, when I was like 8 or 9 years old. And they took me to Augustana, and they gave me a one-on-one tour of Augustana, and took me to like the rec facilities, took me to some of their classrooms, and just showed me the space. That even turned into me. I was not the best in school early on. I went to Rock Island Academy. But when I was in junior high school, one of my teachers, she seen that I was really good at math, and she bumped me up to advanced math, and she asked me if she could do that. And then she worked with me to catch me up, because by bumping me up, I would miss a whole year of math. So you are bumping me up, but at the same time, I'm still behind my peers. But she worked with me, and she stayed with me even when I went to college and high school. She made sure I was always doing well in math, and she answered any question. So really having those opportunities where people took a little extra time out of their day, it could have been an extra 10 minutes to them, but for me, it gave me years of my life.
That's great. They saw something in you. So how did you get from because you have your degree in engineering,
Yep.
right? So from engineering to community.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
What's that? How?
It's always a weird question that people get, especially when I was a part of student government. People will always ask, like, how did you go from engineering to working with people? Most engineers are not talkative. We don't like to communicate very well. I don't like to talk my day-to-day life, not at all. But for me, I learned to use engineering and how I deal with people. So engineering is all about improving systems. So I think about that in the systems that we use to deal with people. So like in government, that's an entire system, and you can make it much more efficient to help the people around us. And that's kind of how I've used my engineering to better help the community. But it's really about connecting and understanding what problems there are in the world and figuring out how you can solve that. I don't see myself as very creative, despite what some of my friends may believe. But when there is a problem, I can't find a solution. And there's never one solution to a problem. With any problem in engineering, there's multiple ways to attack that. So I just really think about the resources I have available to me. What resources can I get if I don't have them available to me? And how can we apply that to better help the people around us?
Yeah. So I know later on we'll talk about some of your solutions.
Yeah.
Right. So was there a moment when you realized this work was bigger than just a job for you?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think that working in the community, working at the Lincoln Center, I do not make nearly as much as I would have made as an engineer. One of my offers was really nice.
Yeah.
But when you see the lives that you impact, when you see the smiles on students' faces, when you see the opportunities that these students get because you were just in the room, when you even see some of the inspiration that these kids draw on from you, I don't think you often realize how far your 10 minutes goes in someone else's life. There's plenty of youth and young adults I work with that, frankly, I didn't think I had the biggest impact on, but they continue to ask about you. They continue to look up to you. They continue to look forward to the time that they get with you. So I think that really showed me that, the work that I do here is really important, and it is of equal magnitude to the work that I would be doing in the engineering world.
Yeah. So how can we get those leadership roles in front of the youth?
Yeah. To be honest, you have to address that pay gap. Like I said, when you have a $90,000 offer compared to maybe a $40,000 offer, that $90,000 can go so much more further than $40,000 can. And I'm not saying that organizations have to be able to reach that, but you do have to meet them in the middle. Find opportunities to invest in them outside of that. So if you have a young person in leadership and you know that they want to improve in, let's say, finances or accounting, start putting them in a position in your organization where they can have more impact on that area and they can learn more from their peers around them. Listen to them. I think while it can be very challenging to work with a multi-generational team, sometimes where you have people from vastly different generations and in different points of understanding in their life, there's also a lot of hope in that, in which you can learn from each other. So really open your ears and open your eyes up a little bit where you can pay attention to them, see what they want to do in their life, empower them to do that, but also listen to them. And when they have input, take it and actually try it and give real feedback. You don't have to coddle a young person in leadership. If they have a bad idea, let them try it. And when it is bad, you guys have a serious conversation about why that was bad. At the end of the day, give them that opportunity to put to task some of those skills that they built up for so long.
Yeah, and grow in it.
Yeah.
Yep. So why is it important that programs like AMP and Hustle University focus on skills, confidence, and sometimes paid opportunities?
Yeah.
So first, let's start off with AMP because they're similar but yet different, right? So let's start off with what AMP is, and then talk about those skills, confidence, and opportunities.
Yeah. So AMP was this amazing program that myself and Michael Cribbs worked to create for the Lincoln Center, but specifically for Davenport School 8th graders going into 9th grade. The school district reached out to us, said they had a little bit of money in the pot for a summer program for their 8th graders going into 9th grade. And they asked if we had any programs that those students can participate in. We have a lot of programs in the building, but like I said, I am very problem solution based. So I really wanted to understand, like, all right, what is this pot of money for? What are your outcomes? What are your objectives? And let's create a program around that. That also fits the funding that you have available. And what they seen is that when younger students get involved early on, they're less likely to do some of those show some of those more negative habits in school. So when you get them engaged in career readiness, college readiness, stuff like that, they do much better often in high school. So we took that data, we looked at some programmings that other communities had, and we created a program where 8th graders could come throughout the summer. They come once or twice a week to the center, and they got to engage in a range of activities. So from STEM to health and fitness activities. We also did some arts and discovery activities too. So really give them the opportunity to discover different areas, different hobbies, and figure out what they like to do. So as they go into high school, they kind of have an idea of what they like to do, and they can explore it more in high school, but also get to know other students too, because we didn't have all students from the same school. So you have students from very different middle schools. They all come to the center, they get to know each other before they go into high school. So now when they go into high school, they kind of have that social awkwardness figured out a little bit.
Yeah.
We actually had this one kid who came here. He is a little socially awkward. After he came the first week, I wasn't for sure if he would come back. I don't think his mom was for sure if he would come back at all, but he kept coming back. And as he came back, he became one of the more social students, to the point where we have to now ask him, hey, can you calm it down just for a couple minutes, just so we can say what we have to say. But just giving really young students the opportunity to get to know themselves, get to know each other, and also get to know some of the skills and hobbies and in organizations around the Quad Cities that are ready to invest in them.
Yeah, so I love that one, it's 8th graders, because that is that awkward age group where you're transitioning from like being big man on campus in junior high
Literally.
and now going like it's a whole new environment in high school, right? So I love it that it's that age group that you guys are focusing on. So this year, how many kids did you guys have involved in AMP? Or I'm sorry, students. How many students did you have involved?
We had 58 graders.
50?
Yes, but we also had some other students that kind of just joined. So we had a few younger students that also joined AMP programming. But it was amazing. We had about 10 to 12 students that would come each day, and then Fridays we would take like a field trip with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Hustle University. Yeah. So explain what Hustle University is, and then again we'll go over the same questions.
Yeah. So Hustle University is one of my favorite programs. Like I said, I don't think I would have went to college. I mean, I probably would have went to college, to be honest, but I don't think I would have went to SIU, and I don't think I would have had as smooth of a transition to SIU had I not had some of those early engagement with mentors that pushed me into that direction. And that's what Hustle U is about. Mm-hmm. It's not just about college, but it's really about working with juniors and seniors in high school right now, who know they want to do something. They might not know exactly what they want to do, but start getting them the resources where they can do what they want to do. It's paid too, so they come to the center about 5 hours a week. 2 of those hours they're mentoring our younger students at the center, and then those other 3 hours are personal development hours. So we had a student recently who was working on her ACT, so she was doing ACT prep in those 3 hours. But we also bring in mentors throughout the year where they can sit down and do workshops with the students in Hustle University. And then at the end of the school year, they'll actually do a summer internship around whatever career field that they want to go into. Hustle University is really about them creating a plan for their future after high school. So we're setting them up now early so that when they graduate, when they walk that stage, they already know where they want to go.
Yes, I love it, and it's much needed. I know.
Yeah.
I was reading a article, and it was saying how college applications have declined. They've seen a decline both last year and this year, 2024 and 2025. Yeah. So programs like this, like Hustle University, is definitely helping students get a better identification on, do I want to go to college, or do I want to go to a trade school, or do I want to get more involved in community like Isaiah? So I think that is amazing.
Yeah. And I don't think we often realize how much as adults we're battling for our time too, but the youth are battling for their time.
Yeah.
So to incentivize youth to do these programs where they can set themselves up better for the future is important. because if they weren't doing this, they would be on TikTok or on Twitch or working for like an Amazon or something.
Yeah.
So it's very important that these opportunities for youth are paid as well.
So what are kids telling you that adults don't always hear?
Yeah, we don't hear the problems enough. One of the funnest parts of AMP for me is we created this podcast setup where we got them all mic'd up. We had it recorded, put them all kind of in like a half circle. And the first session, I think we gave them a couple questions that we wanted them to talk about. But then the next few sessions that we did of it, we allowed them to interview each other. And in those conversations, we constantly heard that these students have serious and real problems, not just with themselves, but like with the world around us. And they don't feel listened to. They don't feel like their voice matters. They don't understand or know of people who are willing to help them. So a lot of that is stuck internally. And I think that creates some of the rage that we see with the youth violence in the area. Or not even just violence, but some of the more random things that you do, like stealing cars. It's often because they have a lot of things internally that they can't get out. So when they have a bunch of free time and their mind is just roaming, they do dumb things, to be honest. So I think creating more platforms where youth have the opportunity to speak, creating more platforms where you can see some of their words becoming action. And when they're telling us that there's issues with the schools or issues with the teachers or issues at home, that we're actually standing up and we're supporting them and protecting them. Because I think that's what they look for us to do most, and we don't do it enough sometimes.
Can you walk us through what AMP or Hustle University looks like for a student from start to finish?
Yeah, so I can start with AMP first. So AMP, we did 10 weeks over the summer. AMP, we will be expanding. A lot of the students loved it and they want it year round, so we are trying to work that out now. But as far as AMP summer camp, it was 10 weeks. First week you come in, you have a select day, so Monday through Thursday. You'll either come every Monday, every Tuesday, every Thursday, or every Wednesday. And then Fridays we'll have select field trips for you. And each week is themed, so one week might be STEM, but the next week might be podcasting. So AMP, there's a wide range of different things that you'll do throughout the whole summer. But we do give you the free time to do the things that you really want to do. And we also give you mini projects too. So if you love the STEM week and you want to do more of it, we'll have a STEM project ready for you. If you love the film week and you want to film a short film, we have the tools here where you can actually film your short film here. As far as Hustle University this year was more selective because we did have limited funding. So we had an application that we put up. I want to say we put up from July to August. You apply online, you come in, you do your interview. And then if you get selected, you have the opportunity to participate in Hustle University. Hustle University day to day, like I said, is 5 hours a week at the center. So 2 of those hours are mentoring our younger students. So that's K through 5 right now. And then 3 of those hours are personal development. So if you're into sports and you want to train in our basketball gym for 3 hours, go ahead and train for 3 hours. If you're into boxing, we have a boxing gym downstairs. But also if you're really trying to understand what career you want to go into, we can set you up with our career advisors that we have in the center.
So what are some biggest challenges in running youth programs and being a young leader in our community?
Yeah, I definitely would say funding. I've already addressed the pay gap issue, but it's not just the pay gap. Funding for programming is always hard. At the center, we want to ensure that our programs are accessible, so we do want those free. And there's many times where people might not qualify for some of our programs. I don't want to say qualify, but like you might not meet the need gap for our programs, but I'm still going to invite you in. And I want to be able to do that more. But also like AMP was an amazing program. We only could accept 50 students because that's all the funding would allow for. But if I could get just a little bit more funding, I could affect so many more students. And Davenport students don't just deserve that opportunity. Rock Island students deserve that opportunity. Students in Silvis and in Bettendorf, they deserve that opportunity as well. So I want to be able to open our programs up to more people. More funding would definitely help out with that. And then more funding would also allow me to bring in other people like me. Like I said, when people have so many offers on the table, it's hard to compete, especially in this economy right now. But if I can get 3 of me in here, I promise you we could change the Quad Cities.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the challenges being a young leader in
Yeah.
the Quad Cities?
Yeah, being a young leader in the Quad Cities, I think sometimes we have this impression of the Quad Cities that it's so small and it's so little, and like, oh my gosh, I want to be in Chicago. Or I did 2 internships in LA. Loved LA, like one of the best places in my opinion to live, despite the cost. But trying to stay motivated when it feels like parts of the Quad Cities is constantly losing resources, that can be hard sometimes when you see areas like Rock Island not getting as much investment as an area like Bendorf. That can be hard sometimes. Like, I love Rock Island.
Yeah.
I want Rock Island to thrive. So I think sometimes when you're doing so much work in these areas and it's not getting the investment, it might get the numbers and it might get the praise, but it's not getting the investment. I think we just had the issue with homelessness and how Project Now was not able to host the overnight shelter, and they had to do it at the King Center. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, it's nice that the King Center could open their doors for that, but why isn't Project Now given the resources to do that themselves? That can be hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of support do youth programs really need from the community?
Yeah. I think we need more people to just give their input. Like I said, I'm not creative. I hate when people think that when it comes to anything, I could just make up the answer. No, I need some sort of direction. So if you know of issues in the community, if you know of issues that you deal with in your own house, share that so then I can see it and then I can try to address it. Because I only know what to put out in the media, and that's not everything. That's not everyone's circumstance. Also, if you have, I understand that not everyone has the ability to help out every day, but if you have a Tuesday and you're really good in gardening and you want to come to Lincoln Center and somehow integrate the hydroponic system that we will build here into a gardening project, reach out to me. Let's do it together. So just give input as much as possible. Where you can't give input, give money. If it's $5, $2, $3, give what you can. And then show up when it matters. When we ask for donations of items, or when we ask for donation of your time through volunteer hours, give 10 minutes, give an hour, give 2 hours if you can, or share it with someone else. Yeah.
What's something that you would tell your younger self?
Something that I would tell my younger self is it gets better. Like I said, growing up, sometimes you feel constrained by your environment. You don't get to control what you eat. You don't get to control like where you go to school. So sometimes I thought that's all life would be, and that's not the truth at all. So really, it gets better. Life gets better.
It does.
That's it.
What advice would you give a young person trying to find the right path?
Yeah. Find what you're good at, do it early, and do it often. I understand if you feel like you're not good at anything, but that's not true. There's something that you're good at, something that you have interest in, and I promise you, the more you do it, the better you get. The earlier you do it, the better it is for you down the line.
Yes.
Community work, I started this when I was in maybe 7th grade. We had 4-H came into our school and they started this thing called Leadership Club or something like that. She did it for like maybe a month or 2 months, where each week she would come in and teach us different leadership skills and stuff like that. And then the next semester, she had us teach it to our peers. That kind of started it for me, where when I was teaching it to my peers, I was like, all right, even though I don't like to talk to people, I am kind of good at this whole like leadership thing. So let me keep doing it. So I stayed involved with 4-H, continued on the leadership path and learning about leadership and how to improve it and how to improve myself professionally and personally. And then when I went to school, like when I got involved in student government, which was completely by accident, I just accidentally went to a meeting and then they got me to sign up, which I didn't realize I was signing up. I was like surprisingly good at it because I had been doing it for so long. And even though I wasn't involved in sports, leadership, that was my skill.
Yeah.
Like that is where I was good at, and that was my
Yes. And you found it young, seventh grade.
Yeah. So
Yeah, look at you. I love it. You have a beautiful story.
Thank you.
And you're doing great things.
Thank you.
So thank you, Isaiah, so much for leadership and your work that you do here for our community and the Lincoln Center. For our viewers watching, please let us know how, again, they can learn more about AMP, Hustle University, and the new things that are coming up, and also how they can either volunteer their time or give donations.
Yeah. So definitely follow our Facebook page, the Lincoln Center QC, or Team BC Lincoln Resource Center on Facebook. That's where we put most of our updates. But you can also go to our brand new website, which is designed by me, and it gets better every day. And it's www.thelincolncenterqc.org. Go to that website at any time and just see what we're up to.
Thank you. You're doing a great job.
Thank
you.